He's performed for the President of the United States.
He's also launched the One campaign with U2's Bono and works tirelessly with various non-profit organisations.
But most of all, what this husband and father of 5 is most committed to is bringing hope to a lost and suffering world.
Michael W. Smith, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
5 children.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
You don't look old enough to have 5 children.
They're awesome.
Wait, how old are they?
My oldest is 21, and then 19, 17, 15, 13.
Wow.
So we just kept having babies. And,
Any
but I
more coming?
love being a dad, though. I really do. And they've always been the most important thing in my life, other than my relationship with Christ, and even before my career. And but I think I've somehow maintained a fairly healthy balance between the two.
That's awesome. When did you become a Christian, Michael?
When I was 10 years old.
10?
Walked down the aisle, not because my friends did, but just had this sort of overwhelming sensation of going, I'll never make it throughout this life if I don't have the Lord in my life. And it was very genuine. I'll never forget it.
Were your family saved?
All my family, my mom and dad, my biggest heroes, and just we're so close that my mom and dad had a huge impact on my life. Love me unconditionally, have one sibling, my sister Kim, and great family, just a little town in West Virginia in the States. So.
And when did you first discover that you could sing?
I'm not sure when I first discovered that I could sing. I remember when I was 6 years old, I heard Beatles songs on the radio, and I could sit down and play them back. And then I started making up songs. So I think that was the first discovery that I had some sort of talent. I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
Wow.
And
did you ever play?
I played a lot, and I was if I can say so myself, I think I was a pretty good ball player. My dad taught me a lot, and I got to 15 and didn't make the All-Stars, and I think for the first time, and I think that's when, I was playing music. I wasn't your typical musician or jock. I did both.
Yeah.
And so 15 is when I thought, I think God wants me to do this music thing.
Wow. And did you ever think it would get to the kind of influence you have?
I don't think anybody that gets in the music business can ever dream that. I mean, I always was optimistic and thought, I think God will go before me, and whatever that path is,
Sure.
if it's small,
Yeah.
if it's big, whatever. But I was extremely optimistic that I could make it.
Wow.
But I knew it was going to. When I look back at what's happened now, there's no way I could have orchestrated any of that. So it's been God, definitely.
How do you use that influence?
Well, I just I have this platform, and so it's a. If you really take a good hard look at it, it's a really, really big responsibility. I'd love to give it to somebody else, You know what? I just think that you can talk all day long, but let me tell you what. My kids, for example, you can preach at them and tell them this and tell them that. Let me tell you what. They watch every movie you make. So you have to live the life, in your relationship to others, how you treat people. That's real. It all comes down to that.
Yeah,
hey, so what do you think the worship style is so appealing to so many different age groups?
That's a good question. You know what, I think that when there's revival happening, when people are becoming passionate for the Lord, I think that people want to gravitate to anything that will help them express themselves to how they feel about the Lord.
Sure.
So I think that's why worship music is extremely popular. Anything that they can get that will help them articulate how they feel about the Lord.
Oh, wow.
One of the organisations you've used your influence with is Compassion, and we've seen a lot of footage of you this week at conference advocating that. Why did you get involved with Compassion?
Well, I got asked to be a spokesman, and I remember a long time ago I said no because I didn't know anything about him. And I went ahead, though, and sponsored a kid, and went to Ecuador, South America, and saw firsthand what they did and was blown away, absolutely floored. And I've been involved ever since because I've just seen firsthand how that whole thing works. And matter of fact, the first girl that I sponsored, she became a Christian 6 months after I sponsored her. And
Gabby?
Gabby, yeah.
Yeah, we heard that last night.
And the story's amazing. Now there's 22, 23 people of that family who became Christians because of just one child getting sponsored. So you never know the spillover effect. It's just It's just awesome.
That is so true. Hey, one thing I do want to know, what does the W stand for in Michael W. Smith?
Well, I was told I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Is it a surprise?
Ooh, well, okay, I reckon let's run a competition. Now, we've got a couple of copies of Michael's latest album, and if you think that you know what the W stands for in Michael W. Smith, SMS your answer to 0411 511 200, and we'll be announcing the winner and the answer to that question tomorrow morning.
And this is Michael's latest album, Healing Rain, which you can get a copy of up in the main expo there, or just jump on to kurong.com.au, which would be great. Be fantastic. So lots of things coming up.
Thanks so much for coming in today, Michael.
Thank you.
We
I
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And there's a lot more coming up after the break, so don't go away.